All right, welcome back to the JP Peterson Show, brought to you by the great folks at Italiano Insurance. We'll tell you more about them in a little bit. Right now, we want to bring in one of our other great sponsors from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. Khristopher Lugo joins us here. Chris, how you doing?
Unbelievable. And yourself?
Fantastic. It's always great to have you on and give the
Thanks
folks
so much for having me.
Yeah, last time you gave us some great information on COVID, and we want to talk about weight loss now because during COVID, so many people gained a lot of weight. And
COVID-19, yeah, that's what we call it.
Exactly. So there's so much out there these days to lose weight, so much information out there. I know there's a lot of chiropractors out there that are pushing things, and a lot of it are fad diets or worse, drugs that you take that work initially but don't give you long-term results. So tell us a little bit about your approach and what you've learned.
Yeah, so I mean, the chiropractor thing is huge. I mean, there's a couple out there that are really well known out there. They can't make money off of adjusting backs, so they're going to make money off of telling you to eat 500 calories a day and take a whole bunch of supplements, which is not sustainable. As I'd say, hey, I'm going to give you a fish and you're going to eat for a day, or you can come to me and I will teach you how to fish and you can eat for life. What would you rather do?
Yeah.
So there's a few different meds out there. Some of these diabetic new medications out there, these GLPs are out there, which are really good. They've got some side effects to them, but once you get used to the side effects, you're going to lose the weight. And it's going to teach you how to fish, as I would say. So you're going to eat for life, and it's going to change your lifestyle, how you eat and what you eat. How
does that work? Give me a little bit more information on that.
So these GLPs, Ozempic's probably the best one out there. Everybody knows the little jingle on the commercials out there. It's how it's doing is actually it's raising your insulin levels. It's kind of making you have that satiety, feeling a little fuller, a little quicker. Gives you a little bit of nausea. That's going to be a big thing. My ladies will tell me, hey, it's like having morning sickness. They'll have it for the first couple of days after the injection. And then after the rest of the week, they're doing pretty good. They feel hungry, but once they start eating, they're like, I'm done. I've already had enough. So the downside about this, let's talk about the dirty stuff with this because there's no beautiful drug out there. The downside, what I'm seeing is some of my ladies are losing lean muscle mass. And as I would say, you're robbing Peter to pay Paul. So I really stress, hey, we're going to do this medication. It's going to work really well for us, but you've got to weight train. You've got to weight train. You've got to weight train because the ladies are coming to see me. They're usually in their 40s and 50s. And by that time, you're losing lean muscle mass already because of hormone changes. You don't need to lose them more because it's going to lead to osteopenia and osteoporosis.
All right, let's talk a little bit about the guys now. If guys, if they've been working out, maybe they just want to lean up. What's your best advice for doing that?
Well, that's kind of where I'm at, right? Abs are made in the kitchen, not in the gym, right? So I love TRT, love it. Been on it for years. Myself, I don't look like a guy who's on TRT. I don't care if you call it HRT, TRT, steroids. It's all the same thing. You can put lipstick on a pig; it's still a pig. The difference is, hey, are you doing it with the guidance or you're not doing it with guidance? TRT is not the fountain of youth, though. If you're not eating good, you're not sleeping good, you're not working out, you're not going to see a difference being on T. You got to hit those pillars of health in order to see the differences. Look at Jeff Bezos. The guy is ripped, right? Got a new girlfriend. She's pretty hot, right? So things will do, but he's on some
either.
Right? He's on some product. I guarantee he's doing some tea and probably some other things, but he's putting time in the gym. You've got to put time in the gym in order to get the results.
So I was reading an article the other day that testosterone in American men especially is way down. And with older men, we kind of get that. But I was shocked at finding out that ages 16 to 39, a dramatic loss in what American men used to have. And we talked a little bit about this. It's diet, it's stress, it's a lot of stuff in our, tell us a little bit about that. And so it's not just older guys that need TRT, it's younger guys too. Nick might need it.
Nick probably needs some. I'm just kidding, Nick. No, the big thing really, truly is sleep. It really is. Sleep is huge right now. And people don't realize that. I get a lot of guys come to my practice and I'll ask them, hey, how's sleep? Do you snore? Do you have sleep apnea? Oh, yeah, I snore like a freight train. Well, I'm like, you're not getting good restful sleep. You're not getting that good peak of testosterone from when you sleep. That diurnal effect that we talk about in med school and all that, it's true for the young population. These kids today live on these phones. They're in their bedrooms. They're sneaking it. When you and I were a kid, we didn't have phones. We were probably watching TV, but we didn't have TVs in the bedroom. Yeah. All right. So, but these kids aren't sleeping today, and that's why they're not getting that good spike of testosterone. And I'm hearing young girls, 9 years old, having periods right now that starting their cycles. It's crazy.
And is that from lack of sleep, or what is that from?
That's just craziness going on in lifestyle. Who knows what's going on? I don't know if it's food I don't know if it's sleep. It could be multifactorial.
Hormones in the food. Yeah. Khristopher Lugo joining us here from Bay Area Modern Medical Center. And sleep is something that I struggle with as well. I think I'm tracking my sleep now. I have an app that I track my sleep on, and I'm getting like 4 or 5 hours a night. The deep sleep is not working. And I know my sleep. I need to do better at that. Tell us how we can get better at sleeping. Because I'm looking at my phone late at night. I'm watching TV. I'm probably doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. Give us some easy things that we could do to get more rest.
It's Occam's razor. It's really simple things that people just aren't doing. They're not putting down the phones. They're not getting away from the TV. Look, the bedroom should have a bed in it, but not a TV in it. The bedroom is for sex and the bedroom is for sleep, not for anything else. And you're sitting there watching TV and Netflix and binging all night long. It's not helping you. You got to get in a routine. If you want to use some supplements, use some supplements. I like tryptophan. I like GABA. I like magnesium at night to help you sleep. Take a hot shower, get into a cold bed. I personally use an 8-sleep mattress pad, which cools my bed down. It's expensive as shit. I'm not going to lie to you, but it really makes a difference. And I sync it with my app when I wake up, what was good, what was bad. In medicine, we say, what is measured is managed. I use an Oura ring. I track my sleep with that. It's you got to track the numbers. So this is Oura ring. This is the 3rd generation ring. It's got some monitors on it. It tracks my heart rate variability, tracks my heart rate, my temperature, my breathing. It gives you great feedback. This has changed how I drink alcohol. This has changed how I eat food. But if you're not going to change your lifestyle because of these metrics, don't do them. But you got to make a routine.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned that because I just got the Halo band, which is similar to that, right? You get the Oura ring, it gives you a biofeedback, right? The Halo is the one that I just got. I haven't, to be honest with you, I haven't used it to what it should be set up for. But do you recommend these things because it's giving you the feedback?
I do. I like the Whoop bracelet also. What I don't like about Whoop is it's on my wrist. Okay, I don't like to wear stuff around my wrist when I'm sleeping, and it's a subscription. I got to pay $30 a month for that data. Now, I'll be honest with you. Or just recently brought on Matthew Walker, PhD. I have a book sitting on my desk right now, Why We Sleep. I always recommend reading that book. It will change how your thoughts on sleep. But they took a little page from their playbook from Whoop, and now they charge a $6 a month for the data from this. Now, I've had the 1st generation, the 2nd generation ring. I'm grandfathered in, quote unquote. But $6 a month is not bad for the data.
Yeah. And it's important, and it'll help you get in a sleeping routine. That's going to help you. I mean, and I know athletes are talking about this all the time now. It's rest, 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 and and these are obviously professional athletes, but for us, it's just as important, right?
Yeah, athletes are talking about recovery, right? They're all about recovery, and sleep is part of that recovery. Rest. It's huge. It's ingrained in our DNA. 1/3 of our life is spent sleeping. Why? It's important. Okay, I can dive into the reasons why. That's a different podcast on why sleep is really important. Well, maybe we'll talk about a different podcast, but sleep is huge. And if you're not sleeping good, you're not going to see a difference being on TRT. You won't.
All right, let's talk about preventative care. Because there's, now we're hearing about the monkeypox. We're hearing about all these different viruses. And obviously we've been through COVID. Keeping your immune system up and your weight down, obviously, is going to be huge in fighting future viruses, right? So talk a little bit about preventative care that you guys do.
Yeah, the preventative care is huge. And sleep is part of that. Sleep is part of that pillar of health. Exercising, part of that pillar of health. Zone 2 training, 3 days a week, an hour a day. Zone 2 training is huge. I'm using that a lot for my patients who are recovering from long haul COVID.
What is Zone 2 training?
Zone 2 training is going to be different for everybody, but Zone 2 training basically is getting that heart rate between that 100 130, depending on your age, and you sustaining that heart rate for roughly about an hour. So a lot of your Tour de France, your professional cyclists really work that Zone 2 training, and then they'll work that Zone 5. But Zone 2 training is really huge for mitochondrial dysfunction, which we're seeing a lot of for that long haul COVID.
Okay.
But I like supplements. I like vitamin D. It's huge. 5 to 10,000 international units a day. Zinc, vitamin C, quercetin. They've all been proven in multiple studies to help with viral infections. The monkeypox thing, look, we got about 13,000 cases, give or take, plus or minus, right now that reported. We got about 1,200, I believe, here in the state of Florida. I'm not too overly concerned. It's a lot of skin-to-skin contact. That is how it's transmitted. It's not like COVID whatsoever. So I'm not too overtly concerned. I haven't seen any monkeypox in the hospital, personally myself, in the ICU, nor have I seen any colleagues talking about it.
All right, so that's and COVID is still out there, obviously,
Yeah, it
and I
is.
know you treat it. And we've been telling people if you get a COVID diagnosis, so many
Call
people
me.
think that there's nothing they can do, and literally emergency room doctors telling people, yeah, there's nothing we can really give you,
Yeah,
and that's
have a
not
nice
true.
day.
Yeah,
It's not
it's not
true.
true,
Not
right?
true at all. No, not true at all. Unfortunately, it's not true. But yeah, we have to do some treatments out there. Yes, I'm a big ivermectin fan. It does work. It's binding up these proteins so it doesn't get inside the cell. But the vitamin regimen we just talked about, that's huge. It's part of it. Now, a lot of the symptoms I'm seeing recently, oh my God, I just tested positive. What's your symptoms? Oh, I just feel a little tired and otherwise stuffy nose. I'm like, you're okay then. No reason to intervene at this point in time. But the symptoms recently for COVID have been a lot more mild. There are a few cases here and there that are worse, but for the most part, mild symptoms.
We're seeing a little bit of talk in social media about vaccines and vaccine injuries. If some people have taken vaccines, should they be worried at all? Is there anything they can do to check up and see if they're okay? What advice would you have for them?
Look, I'm not an anti-vaxxer by any means. I'm in the military still,
Yeah,
as you know, and we love vaccines in the military. As you'll
yes,
stand up in a line
absolutely.
and you'll get jabbed 4 or 5 different times. A lot of these vaccines have been out for years, decades at this point in time. They take 5 to
Exactly.
10 years to develop and come to market. These recent vaccines that have come out to market pretty quickly. But no, I don't think we should have this overt sense that some vaccines, but there's a big push for vaccines right now. As long as it's tried and true, I'm okay with the numbers. But
Yeah.
something that comes to market a little too quickly and not proven, I'm not too quick on jumping on board.
Well, this has been great information, Chris. Tell the folks how they can get in touch with you, and we'll put this podcast up. So if you missed anything, and we went through a lot of information, so you can go back and listen to it, write some stuff down because I think it's great information. How do they get in touch with you?
Yeah, go online, BAMMC, Bravo Alpha Mike Charlie.com. Book an appointment right online. You don't need to call me. Some people want to make an appointment at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not going to answer the phone at 10 o'clock at night, but it's easy. Go to online. You'll see the schedule. We'll see what works best for you. Or call the office. 844-789-2266 is the alternate number there that you've got also. But yeah, let's talk. Let's chat. You got some questions. We can chat about them.
Yeah, it's a lot of interesting stuff going on now. Thanks for the information, Chris. Appreciate you.
Thanks, JP. Thanks, Nick.
All right, we'll talk soon. Thanks, buddy.